Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to 3302. This is where I take a look at the news and happenings in and around Elite Dangerous. Today we're going to talk about the much requested and much needed changes coming to the engineers. The wildcard event has come to an end. There's been some reports of the discovery of an unknown probe, and there's a rather special book out there about the Distant Worlds expedition. As many of you no doubt know, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding the engineers release, with a lot of people not being particularly happy with a number of the features. Now, Frontier have been pretty great and said all along that they're listening to the feedback. They've already made a few changes, and just recently they have confirmed they're going to make a whole bunch of other changes as well. Now, all of these changes have been much requested by the community. They were quite heavily featured in my recent video on the engineers, and they've been talked about many times over the previous weeks on the forums as well as on Reddit. A lot of different people essentially asking for the same type of thing and making the same sort of suggestions. The first of these then, the first of the changes that Frontier are going to make is to the surface scanner, and this is now going to be able to be used so that when you scan a planet, it will reveal the types of materials that that planet contains. This, in my opinion, is an absolutely fantastic change and is probably one of the best ones out of the whole lot here. It could potentially add a whole lot of value to the gameplay, aside from meaning that we won't have to any longer go down to the planets and waste our time looking for material that may not actually exist there. It means we can actually start prospecting planets for real. There's going to be a change made to the lowest level blueprints, and this will essentially increase the positive effects of those blueprints as well as reduce the material costs, and this will make them a lot easier to access and a bit more effective as well. There's going to be an increased number of units per material, and from what I can understand, this means that each rock will drop a greater number of materials. So, for example, you won't just get a single unit of polonium if you're fortunate enough to find some of that. In addition to that, they're going to increase the number of materials spawned when mining. Now, I'm not quite sure how that differs from the previous pit we just mentioned, but I suspect it means simply that a greater number of rocks will now spawn. So both of these, when combined together, in addition to the other change which is increasing the likelihood of finding rare materials, will mean that you can build up your list of materials much quicker. Now, do keep in mind that people were never asking to actually get through the content faster. They weren't really asking to get the upgrades faster. They just wanted a sense of progress, and that should give it to us. The rate of progress can still be gated by the unlocks at the engineers. Although we'll now be able to have a greater number of roles when we go there because we'll have more materials that much faster, it's still quite possible that Frontier can balance this so that the net result is still the same as that it's always been. But of course, we don't yet know just how Frontier will balance things. It may be that they make progress quicker, it may be that they keep it the same. But in either event, these changes will increase the sense of incremental progress, which is something that players have long wanted. And of course, it's going to significantly reduce the current levels of frustration, and hopefully bring some much needed gameplay to the whole material search with the changes to the surface scanner. But for me, gameplay really is the crux of the matter, because as it stands at the moment, I really don't feel that either the RNG or the current material search really has much gameplay value to it. Now, I'll talk about that in an upcoming video where I'll go into detail on my thoughts and feelings of the whole matter. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be a while until we see all these changes go live onto the server. Frontier have said they're going to happen with the next major point release, which they're aiming to release around about July-August time. Now, there's been a bit of discussion on the forums as well as to exactly what a major point release is. Some people are suggesting that it actually means 2.2. Other people are suggesting that it's just another major release within the 2.1 cycle. I've got to admit, the wording on that was fairly ambiguous and can certainly be interpreted either way, but it would certainly be nice to see patch 2.2 with us by August time. At any rate, these changes are certainly something I'm looking forward to seeing. The first leg of the Dangerous games has now come to an end with the closing of the wildcard event. There was 3 weeks of community goals there to determine which of the 5 groups there would go through to the final rounds. Unfortunately, only one of them could win, and that turned out to be EG Pilot, so congratulations to all of them. They are now going to go through to the main Rise to Power games and compete with AEDC, the Border Coalition, Galcorp, ICU and SEPP for the opportunity to become the first player power within the game. And Frontier are going to have a YouTube live stream on Tuesday the 28th of June at 7 PM BST to cover this. A number of reports have come in over the past few days about the discovery of an unknown probe. Now this is something completely different to the previously found unknown artifacts. The unknown artifacts are of alien origin, and here you can see the unknown probe with some footage posted on Ecthelion Telruna's YouTube channel. I apologise if I've pronounced your name wrong there. If you want to see the full clip, do head over to their YouTube channel and check it out, but just listen to the sounds it makes. The unknown artifact actually had some encoded information within the sound it produced, so it's going to be interesting to see whether or not it's the same deal with the unknown probe. Now, the unknown probes have been located within unidentified signal sources in Ross 47, protected and carried by convoys. So could this be another step within the mystery of the game? Currently we have the unknown artifacts already found, and we already have the barnacles found on many different planets and still being discovered in many other nebula. It's highly likely that all of this is incremental steps towards the reveal of aliens within the galaxy. There's a massive thread on the forums discussing all of this. It's essentially ran and maintained by the Canon Research Group, and do go along and check it out. There's a lot of information there if you find this topic intriguing. Distant worlds may have come to an end now, but the memories of the journey are still with us. During the time, Dr. Kai and many others put together some extremely detailed newsletters that contained reports from players, some fantastic screenshots, as well as all the memories, of course, of the journey itself. And Dr. Kai has gone ahead to put all these newsletters together along with some rather nice extras into this fantastic looking book, which is actually available for purchase. Now you can see some examples of this in the little video clip here. The full video is available on Dr. Kai's channel, and if you go there you can find out all the other information you need about the book itself. And finally, I'd like to make another recommendation for a YouTube channel. I've made this one a few times before. It's actually for Cornelius Bridus. Now, if you're out there looking for the engineer's upgrade and you're not sure where to go or what to do, he comes highly recommended by me. He has some of the most detailed and in-depth videos you're actually going to find on this subject, and he will give you absolutely everything you need to know about how to go about these upgrades, as well as exactly what effects you can actually expect to get from them. You can find a link to his YouTube channel in the video description below. So then, that brings us to the end of this episode of 3302. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. I'm once again here with my commander, Cobra Commander, and this time I'm heading out to a resource extraction site. I want to get myself involved in a bit of combat and try and make as much money as I possibly can.